there it is. They win it, and look at the...
And I think for me, aiming is so easy.
Yes, we won! Oh, we won! We won!
Yes! Let's go!
Lord Gabe Newell has spoken once and for all about Counter-Strike global offensive gambling, and lo, he smote his enemies with a glorious banhammer.
Tonight we're joined by the legend of the marketplace, Zipple. I would introduce you as the
Skin daddy.
CSGO, yeah, probably the CSGO skin pimp.
How is Valve the only company to truly successfully create a market inside of a game? We're in a new era where nearly every game you play, AAA or not, has a microtransaction market. While many games have a trading system that can be bought and sold between players, prices are traditionally stagnant, with some having slight variations in price. The investment potential is not considered the same way it is on Valve markets. Why are Valve alone? December 2012, Steam introduced the first iteration of the Steam market. Team Fortress 2 was already averaging 70,000 concurrent players when the market got released, and the game had already been out for 5 years. While 70,000 doesn't seem like too much today, think about how much gaming culture has changed since 2012. In 2012, I was watching Call of Duty Black Ops 2 tournaments in hotel lobbies where players competed for $10,000 if it was a big event. Streaming was a niche hobby, and YouTube was just starting to hit its stride. The game was stable and popular. Players have already decided to continue playing the game for years and years. It was perfect for a long-term market experiment. While the market was an experiment, it wasn't a complete shot in the dark. TF2 had already had crates in the game. Look familiar?
There's too long. I didn't hit it.
Oh my god! Oh my god, a knife!
Valve likely had an inkling of what people valued items at and how many people were interested in their cosmetics. Games like Diablo 3 had a very successful trading system that many people in the community participated in and played for. Valve's market experiment was just an official centralized version of what already existed on forums. All they did was bring it to the forefront of the casual player. Think of all the scams that happen today, even with two-factor authentication and all the warnings that Steam has provided. Imagine how rampant scamming was when the only thing you could do is person-to-person trades. And for some that figured it out early, not only could they trade items around freely, but also make money on items by capitalizing on the systems put in place. Everyone benefits. While Team Fortress 2 doesn't consist of the keys to success that Counter-Strike perfected, it's the foundation of everything we see today. Cases and discontinued items create that foundation. Cases and drop rates allow the community to decide prices according to basic demand and supply.
I mentioned we have some random drops in Team Fortress that sell for $80 or $100 between users. Dota has items that go into the thousands. But this isn't us placing valuations on these items. These are users who say, you got something that I'm really interested in. I'm going to go buy $1,000 worth of value and trade it to you. This is not an accident. This is by design.
Rare items are worth more as they are harder to get, and common items are cheaper as their quantity is abundant. Some items are more popular than others, which is where discontinuing collections was massive for market survival. If everyone wanted one specific item from one specific crate, the others would be ignored. By discontinuing crates in TF2, not only would the crates go up in price, but the items inside them would too. You take the existing demand, but cut off the supply. Unless you want to pay the new premium price, you will be pushed into buying the new items. It keeps people interested, it keeps the market flowing, and the most important thing, it affects prices. After a short period in beta, we saw the release of Dota 2 with instant Steam market support. We also saw the Arms Deal update in Counter-Strike. That introduced the skins that millions and millions of people participate in today. At this point in time, the Steam market was a Valve-focused market, but that's all they needed. Dota 2 items have a similar design to TF2 items in the way they're implemented in the game. but the purpose is entirely different. Dota 2 upon initial release was very competitive focused. You had tickets purchasable in the store allowing you to view tournament matches in-game with extra details like seeing a player's mouse movement. Dota 2's large yearly tournament, the International, also had a compendium with stretch goals compelling more players to purchase for the benefits of the total player base.
So there were stretch goals set up around the total number of purchases for this book. So this had the effect of meaning that if I had purchased a compendium, my purchase became more valuable the more other users purchased one. Mine would become more powerful, more things would unlock as more stretch goals were met.
It was a complete success with over 500,000 sold, raising 1.2 million for the first Dota 2 International. With the context concluded, it's time to tackle Counter-Strike and how Valve proved how profitable yet flawed their market is. Within the Arms deal updates comes many returning designs, over 100 skins upon first release, cases like TF2 crates, esports cases to support the pro scene like Dota, stat track counters like TF2 stats, and workshop submissions for the community to decide what they like best. But the similarities stop there. Upon the first initial release of skins, we received one of the most important factors in skins trading today: float value. Float value is the specific wear of a skin anywhere from 0 to 1, and they are broken down into 5 categories: factory new, minimal wear, field tested, well worn, and battle scarred. This wasn't officially introduced yet, but it was necessary for Valve to include these values unless they wanted all factory new skins to have the same wear. It adds depth to the market, and that's the first big reason why Valve has created the most comprehensive markets in gaming. In the old UI, there was no way to check the float of an item. You could look at 2 factory new skins, but one would be significantly scratched and the other is almost perfect. Float value was discovered with sites like CSGO Exchange showing float values for your items, and with that, the first group of collectors were created: Blackamovs, Blackscope Desert Hydras, Clean Corner Karambits, #1 lowest and highest float skins for bragging rights. When looking at how much diversity float values give to items in-game, I would consider it one of the most important factors of the CSGO market, even though many players don't even know or care about it. Then there's patterns, the actual most influential aspect of skin trading. Sure, the float values create unique wear on items, but what if that was taken one step further? Clean karambit corners. Yes, you need a low float knife to receive that clean corner that everyone raves about, but even with low tier floats, the wear on the knife looks entirely different. That's because the way the CSGO skin looks isn't done through linear float values. There's also 1,000 different patterns that affect the way the skin will wear. Not only is there people hunting the lowest and highest float skins, but now there are people hunting lowest and highest float skins with the best wear patterns. That's depth. That's creating a market that flows. But hold on, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The first case released with the Arms Deal update, the CSGO weapon case, had one peculiar skin, and you might know it.
I got score pattern! I got score pattern! I got score pattern!
While every skin in the game has a specific pattern, many of them are locked to one design. The AK-47 case hardened was not like that. Based on a large case hardened template, all 1,000 patterns would be taken from different sections. Some would have everything, some would be almost all blue, some almost all yellow. Not only do CSGO items find value through unboxing rates and demand for the design, there's variations in conditions, variations in wear, variations in design, stat track or non-stat track. It took years for the community to find the true value of these items, and we're still seeing it today with Blue Mag case hardened seeing a massive rise in attention. And it's not just the case hardened. In the first case alone, people hunted hypnotics, high percentage fades, crimson webs with as many webs as they could get on play side, and of course, case hardened knives. Now look at pretty much any other video game market. They are linear. Usually the only crossover is the different conditions. When I played Battalion, it functioned in the same fashion, with factory new to battle-scarred values, but there is no specific float, no patterns. Each factory new skin was the same. Each skin was boring. But Valve wasn't done expanding their skin economy yet. DreamHack 2013, the first official major of CSGO and the first major to contain souvenir drops. Souvenir packages function like traditional cases, but the skins are pulled from map pool collections instead of community-picked designs. They have a special souvenir name tag and souvenir-specific stickers. After the major concluded, the souvenir drop would be discontinued. Many of you forget about these skins. Some of you have never heard of them. Yet, these skins represent the future of the Counter-Strike market. The community was not ready for what stickers were about to become. DreamHack 2013 souvenirs were experimental and they were bad. Stickers were scratched the moment you received the item, and sticker rotation varied. They were probably thinking that this would have added more depth to the market, but Valve did decide to make changes after the underwhelming response to these new skins. And with that comes Katowice 2014. This was the beginning of the future. Capsules containing stickers of the teams in paper and holographic rarities gave players another item to consume. Souvenirs contained team stickers in foil and a tournament sticker in foil or gold. By creating a store for fans to support their favorite teams, Valve created a cash cow for themselves, but they also created a cash cow for the fans. Due to stickers being consumable items, meaning once applied to the weapon, it can never be returned to its original unapplied condition, not only is supply limited by player base, it's also limited by application rate. The basis of Counter-Strike investing. People booting up their old laptop to find Bitcoin sitting around from 2014 is equivalent to people logging into their old Steam account to find Katowice 2014 stickers. $1 investment, $50,000 payout. That's the dream that people chase today, but unfortunately, gains like that don't come every day. What I would consider the last significant difference between Valve and other companies is the way they run seasonal events. For example, Diretide in Dota 2 or Riptide in CSGO. Due to my knowledge about CSGO operations being extensively better than Dota 2 event knowledge, I'll be sticking with CS here, but they do have many similarities in the way the items are handled. Operation Breakout introduced the Baggage, Overpass, and Cobblestone collection drops. One of these is not like the other.
Wow.
Gods and Monsters, Rising Sun, and Chop Shop collections were also added into future operations until Operation Shattered Web, when they wiped everything and put in brand new collections. The last three operations, Shattered Web, Broken Fang, and Riptide, have all consisted of different skin collections, but also adding graffitis, patches, stickers, and player models. Once again, Valve is optimizing their passive income by allowing you to buy stars under the new Battle Pass system and adding new collections each operation so people are hyped for every operation that comes. Due to operations being discontinued, investing in lower tier operation skins has been very successful in the last few years, adding to the existing reasons of buying a pass to participate in the operation. So Valve makes all this money from CSGO. RMR generated at least $48 million in sales, millions from people opening cases, millions from people participating in operations. Why are they the only company doing this? Remember when we talked about the Steam market being great for avoiding scammers? Well, it doesn't eliminate scammers. For Steam, it eventually promoted them. People aren't going to use a market that you can't take money out of. One of the loopholes people use is buying a Valve Index or other physical items that can be resold on eBay, but that's a hassle. For something like the Steam market to flourish, it's necessary that those participating are confident they can eventually get that money back out. Without a direct way to cash out through Steam, trading is necessary. Buying and selling can be done with ease. Cashing out is still filled with scammers. It's third party, it's not recommended, but it won't save your company from getting bad press. Valve and Steam have emails filled with people complaining about their scammed items. Articles written, conversations created. It's a hassle for the company giving scammers a home to sleep in. Since we're talking about scamming, gambling sites. You are gambling with a virtual item that has, but at the same time doesn't have real-world value, allowing you to gamble virtual money, but at the same time not really virtual money. Weird, right? Well, that's why Valve was able to scoot by the laws for so long. The virtual goods that Valve offered had no value through their service. So if trading invites scammers and unethical gambling, why don't these companies just add a bank withdrawal option through their market? Well, not so fast. That can hurt a company in various ways. For Steam and Valve, they would have to put their foot down and label their items as virtual goods. No gray area to abuse anymore. For Steam specifically, having money locked into people's wallets is perfect for promoting more game sales. Don't know what you want to do with that balance? Wait until the summer or winter sale and buy some of the games you always wanted for 50% off. Steam doesn't want your money to leave the market. It's bad business. For games like Apex, Fortnite, and Valorant that already have a market system but no way to sell, trade, or cash out, they don't want to make this trade either. A player buys an item. They enjoy the item. They are happy. But an update comes out and there's a new item they really want. Through the Steam market, people sell their items. Steam and the creator of the game take 15% from the person who just sold. They buy a new item that just got released from another person, taking another 15% from the second seller. In games where you can't trade or sell, the company can take 100% and the player will have to live with potentially having two items for the same character or weapon. It's not friendly to the player, but as we can see, people aren't afraid to see money disappear in a game they love. Rotating markets are an amazing solution for this. From my time watching Valorant upon release, there's some streamers that check the shop every time it resets, hoping they can finally find the item they've been hunting. It's about the hunt, not the dollar value. If an item was always available in the store, there would be no pressure to purchase before it's too late. A rotating shop puts artificial pressure on the player to buy before it's too late. If they don't buy now, they could go weeks, potentially months before they get the option to purchase again. By creating a market for players to exchange items, this system then becomes useless and would likely result in lower sales figures and lower revenue. In a world of FIFA packs that become irrelevant when the new game comes out, someone like Riot will face little to no consequences for sacrificing the player's experience for extra revenue. Therefore, the business model remains, and I would expect it to spread for years to come. In my Battalion example as a game that essentially copied the early days of CSGO, no one really plays it anymore. Skins that were worth $50 are now worth a few cents. Creating a system where people can invest in your game is a win-win for both sides if the game remains popular. Bulkhead missed out on charging people $30 for a skin generating more revenue, and the fans were unhappy as the items they purchased have dropped to a fraction of what they were purchased at. Creating a market with freedom is risky. There's no guarantee people will buy in. There's no guarantee there won't be a massive scandal. There's no guarantee scammers won't exist. There's no guarantee the revenue will build for years to come. There is no guarantee virtual items will be easily sold and traded in the future. Microtransactions locked to your game are easy and safe money. I appreciate what Valve has created. I appreciate all the support Steam has given to indie games. I understand why others are unwilling to do the same.